and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Ash, and with me are my beautiful co-hosts, Tammy and Suze. How are you, girls?
I'm excellent.
I'm angry.
I'm that too. But I'm also excellent.
Why are you angry?
Oh, so much.
Somebody sideswiped my car
No.
and took off. So I've been dealing with that since Saturday when it happened. And now, thanks to whoever that jerk is, I have to pay a lot of money.
Good reason to be angry.
That's awful.
Very good reason.
Yeah, my car's like basically new. Well, you guys know that.
It is.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal.
So, people suck.
I'm also angry, but it's self-imposed. We unplugged our freezer by mistake, and it's a giant stand-up freezer. My husband actually got into it at one point just to show how big it was. And I just went to put something in it today. We were supposed to be taking a nice, light, easy day off because we had a busy work week last week. And here I was cleaning up a whole bunch of rotten, spoiled meat.
Oh, my God.
That we were trying to, this was our sort of plan to make sure we had enough food for the apocalypse.
Of course.
Of course.
A lot of it was still frozen, but some of it seemed too sketchy to bother with. So,
I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah. So I had to cook up a bunch of stuff too, because, it's like, well, it shouldn't be frozen again. So I don't know. It was a big mess. But anyways, also with us, we have our favorite fact checker, Dave from Perception Correction. Hello, Dave.
Hello, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah,
right.
that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Aha.
Happy Irish Day, everyone. Is that racist? Am I not allowed
That
to
being
say?
said, I'd just like to speak to the woke mob quickly. How come you haven't complained, woke mob, about the lack of Chinese leprechauns and lack of black leprechauns during St. Patrick's Day?
Oh, good question.
Fantastic.
I just changed my voice audio bubbly thing to rainbow to be like the Lucky Charms.
I don't see rainbow.
Sure, Lucky
When
Charms.
I talk, it's rainbow.
It's not rainbow for me.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, well, that's disappointing.
Only you get to see the woke rainbow.
We also have joining us our editor and director, and I don't know what name to use. So who are you today?
Introduce yourself.
Director, that's too high level for me. There's no way you can call me director. Tonight,
Well, whatever you are.
we were talking very briefly earlier before we hit record. Tonight's my coming out party, everybody. My real name is Noah. And Tammy said it many times on the podcast, and it really shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but this is going to get so much easier for all of us now. So
relieved.
I'm feeling prideful because I came out to everyone.
Prideful.
Congratulations.
Tammy, how did you do the rainbow word thingies? I'll do that.
I had no idea.
I just clicked on it.
Okay,
Your
I'll figure it
name
out later.
was Noah.
Also, his address is 2556 Willow. No, I'm just joking.
Shut up, Dave. What the fuck?
123 Fake Street. Anyways, we kind of have a heart out for our guest tonight, so I think we should get on to introducing him. We have tonight, we have Bruce Scholl from Unscrew the News with us. And the Broads had the pleasure of being invited on Bruce's podcast just over a month ago, and now we get the pleasure of introducing Bruce to our audience, and this is a place that you guys can find more great content. So welcome, Bruce.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you very
Bruce.
much. I'm excited to be here.
And how are
Yeah,
you feeling
so-
today? Are you also feeling angry?
Well, I'm feeling very Saint Patrick.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Are you Irish?
I'm doing a little jig. No, definitely not. No.
So cultural appropriation then.
Yeah,
No, of
sure.
course.
Absolutely. Very excited about, oh my gosh, stuff is happening. And I don't know if, I think that I started this prior to talking to you guys on the, when you came on to my show, was I started a nightly live daily summary of the apocalypse. You guys mentioned apocalypse. The culmination of the absolute craziness of the world that we're living in. And tonight's episode is actually number 50. So we'll have 50 episodes under the belt tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
It's
incredible.
a lot of fun.
We're not
That's
there
amazing.
yet. Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot of fun. So I'm doing that every night, 7:11 Mountain Standard Time. And it'll be on X and Rumble. Let me see. I've now started. Tonight will be episode number 2 of Substack Live.
Oh, wow.
Oh, very
Nice.
cool.
Nice.
So, Bruce, what brought you to podcasting and kind of getting out there on X and other places? I mean, I think I can guess, and we already kind of talked about it, but just to let our audience know kind of what brought you to where you are right now.
Yeah, sure. I won't go too far back, but during the dark times, I was an avid protester of the lockdowns, the mandates, the any of the pushing of the masks and all of that. So I did what I felt was necessary and possible. And I have two teenage kids, and what I realized after, I think it was the National Citizens Inquiry really pushed me to start the podcast. And I don't know if I told you the story, but I didn't give it much credence when it first came out. I thought it was kind of a waste of time. And I thought, okay, I'm going to listen to it. So it was in Alberta. And I listened to one day when I was working out in the garage. I listened to it for a few minutes. And to be honest, I was absolutely bawling listening to this while I was working out in the garage. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so moved by these stories. I'm so moved by the people that are, sharing their experiences. And so I listened day in, day out after that until it completed. I think it was in June that year. And I thought, you know what? I've been wanting to do a podcast. That's it. For my children, for the future, for history, I'm going to document as many stories as I can so that when somebody looks back, hopefully we never have to go through these steps and this tyranny that we're facing here in North America. I mean, it's not just Canada. So I wanted to document as many stories as I can and tell as many people's stories so that we have a record of what we've gone through. And, my kids might not understand it today, but hopefully they will in the future. And that's why I started Unscrew the News.
I love that. Yeah, the NCI definitely did not get enough exposure, of course, as anything good happens to be. But I mean, that whole thing that happened was kind of underrated compared to, I mean, just how much it affected my husband and I when we were watching it, and my family members who are awakened and kind of in the know. The stories from all the different people from all over Canada was just so impactful.
Yeah, it was. I just don't think that our governments are ready to take account or to hold somebody accountable. I'm here in Alberta, and I kind of think that we're one of the more freer provinces. I don't know about all of the others, but we thought we had somebody in power here that was going to sort of lead us in that charge with Danielle Smith, but she really hasn't. She really hasn't come out and done what we were hoping. Most of us, that have gone through this, just want some account, and we want somebody to say, "Hey, this happened. We gotta stop it here so we can heal and move forward." But it hasn't happened yet, and I think that most of us are done holding our breath.
Yep.
But I mean, Mark Carney, though, right? He's the savior, isn't he?
Obviously.
Hey, he got rid of carbon tax, right? I mean,
Oh,
Oh
right.
gosh.
Right.
So he axed the tax?
he axed the tax. Well, don't you think that was actually to take the feet out from underneath Pierre Poilievre?
I think it was brilliant.
I think it was brilliant too.
Well, he's buying votes.
I mean,
isn't that what he's
just
doing?
so everyone knows, I'm not a Carney supporter whatsoever. I think he's actually more dangerous than Trudeau.
Well, I agree, but I mean
that's partly why.
But he this whole axe attacks. I mean, it really did expose the Liberals, though, for the hoax that they've had us in for since 2019, when they said that they had to bring in the carbon tax to save the world from the climate crisis. And now all of a sudden they said, hey, we're going to save you from the carbon tax, and we're going to get rid of it. What?
Well, they're going to tax the corporations, which of course will just trickle down anyways.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly.
But they won't be to blame.
Well,
for
all
it.
the elbows up people don't understand that. So.
Yeah.
Elbows up.
Well, I don't understand elbows up.
Elbows up is basically ostriching, isn't it, for most people?
Ostriching.
Even though I know, Suze, in one of the first episodes, you did expose the lie that ostriches actually don't hide their heads in the sand, but it's still a
But why
useful,
are they saying
metaphor?
Stick your head in the sand? Like, why?
Well, they're saying elbows up like isn't a hockey phrase, right? Isn't it?
I think so. So
yeah.
So what does it mean
like,
in hockey?
It's a reference to we're ready to fight.
Gotcha.
Get ready to check someone, right?
So
to body check them.
So Tammy, these people are like,
come at me, bro.
Let's fight. Yeah.
From the people who couldn't fight themselves out of a wet paper bag.
Damn.
Because they're all like men pretending to be women. Oh my!
You want to go there? Because that's a good segue into something else.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'll go anywhere.
I mean,
Wait, can I just
go ahead?
Can I just say one more thing about Carney?
Yeah.
With his like buying votes. So you know how our new prime minister holds 3 passports, right? And hasn't lived in Canada in over 10 years. But anyways, so I just saw an article that he's actually like dropping his Irish and UK passport.
Oh, is that right?
And will only hold his Canadian passport because he serves the Canadian people. Blah 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 blah.
Well, he went to Europe though. I mean,
he's freaking lived there for the past 10 years.
Well, he went to Europe first. I mean, that was really important that he went to Europe and check in with Klaus, I thought.
Well, that's because he needs to rub his elbows with the other pedophiles.
That's right.
Elbows up.
Elbows up, Mark.
Yeah. I don't trust anybody that's friends with known pedophiles, and he is friends with plenty of them, and there's so much proof of that.
Well, he just went and saw the king today.
Oh, dear.
And I'm sure he went to visit
And he had
Andrew.
a lovely dinner with Prince Andrew.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to...
I wonder if there was any spirit cooking.
Oh, my God.
Probably. Or human hunting parties.
Oh, my gosh. Now we're going down the rabbit hole.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. So I was hoping that we could get back onto the whole men, not men, definitely during the dark times, I call them, but you can call it whatever you like. But I was really so surprised. I don't know about you guys and what your experience was, but I noticed when I went out to stomp the streets and protest against my tyrannical government, you know, the vast majority were the women. Mm-hmm. And I kept looking around, where's the guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's 100% true. I noticed that too at the protests.
It's very true.
Where are the guys? Yep. I mean, I know there's 3 of us here, but I mean,
they're either women or trying to be women, I mean, or I don't know, they were at work. I'm not sure.
But
yeah, they're locked in the stall in the women's washroom.
I think it's interesting.
Dave, where are the guys?
Yeah, Dave, where are the guys?
What do you think?
Looking right at you. Look at Mr. Carney's kid here. There you go. Prime example.
Jesus Christ.
Gonna save
That's
us.
his kid.
And uses they, them pronouns. What a shocker.
And,
I'm so surprised.
I cannot.
What's a Tavistock? He took him to Tavistock, right? Yeah.
Yes. That's
Did
just
he really?
Yeah.
He's just paying his debts to his puppet masters and then contributing his kid to Tavistock for research in exchange for riches and
power.
His position.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyways.
Maybe a seat in the
Right.
We need a flood, and quickly.
Yep.
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
Yeah.
I get it.
Oh,
Thanks,
That
thanks,
was
Dave.
good. Well played.
Thank
Well
you.
played.
Thank you. There was some
Can you-
dead air there. I thought I'd fill it.
can you tell that guy to get it done? That'd be great.
Yeah. Just waiting on
We,
God
we
right
actually
now.
just bought a houseboat,
Nice.
That was about the houseboat.
So
like
So
an
you're
old,
set.
crappy houseboat. But I mean, in a pinch, it'll float.
Do we all fit on it?
Does two
it's
of
pretty
every
big.
animal fit on it?
Does every animal fit on it? Do the rabbits fit on it?
I knew that was coming.
Of course, the rabbits.
Oh God.
So, Bruce, you mentioned to me that you just test drove a Cybertruck, and you were really planning on not liking it, but
But you
I
did.
get the impression that maybe you might have changed your mind. So, tell us
No.
about
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Was it fun?
Okay, I'll tell you the whole story. So 3-4 years ago, when they first came out, of course they said, just put a deposit as soon as you have the opportunity, you can buy one. So I did. I put a deposit on it
Yeah,
4 years ago.
we did that too. It was like $100.
I think it was 500 for me. But put a deposit down, and out of the blue, about a month ago, I got a text saying, "Hey, if you're still interested, we've got the trucks here in Canada, and come for a test drive." And at first I was like, "Oh, there's no effing way that I'm going to test drive one of those stupid." And then I thought, "Hang on a second. It's supposed to be fast. I like fast. I better go try it out." So yeah, it was. I ended up going with my daughter, and we had a fantastic time. It was really, really surprising how amazing the self-driving mode was. I really was blown away, and I wanted to hate it, but I really quite enjoyed it, and it's freaking fast. It drives like a small car. It really drives like I have a Mini Cooper, and it drives better
Oh my.
than that.
Sorry. My husband
Really?
loves Mini Coopers. He's had
Mini
two
Coopers
in
are
his-
awesome.
Two in his day.
I have the John Cooper Works Clubman, and so yeah, it goes a little bit fast.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My hubby is in love with the Cybertruck.
yeah, it's a
Really?
pretty awesome
Oh,
truck,
wow.
and actually, I'm going to try it again tomorrow.
Oh
Are
my
you really?
gosh.
Yeah, I was taking another friend out for a drive, and I have I can't tell you all the details, but I have a potential business application. So I'll let you know. I'll let
Oh,
you know if it all
wow.
pans out.
Ooh.
Interesting. Yeah, my hubby and I rented a Tesla, just like one of the, just like one of the cars when we were in Alberta. And oh my gosh, like it was actually scary how fast it accelerated. Like it scary but exhilarating.
Yeah, like I've been in a couple
so
of
I-
Teslas, and it was fun to be in.
Yeah, I can't imagine the feeling of being in, something that's truck size but going that fast.
It throws you back in your seat, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it is. And I didn't go like pedal to the metal, but man, it says 4 point something seconds for 100 kilometers, and I was there.
That's why.
Don't tell my wife though.
Yeah,
Your
Okay.
secret's safe with us.
yeah.
Hopefully she won't listen to this.
Don't send her the link.
No, I won't.
Oh boy.
You had mentioned though, I don't know if you want to go down this road, Ash, but were we going to talk about giants?
Yes.
I mean, I think like I want to talk about giants all the time. I'm kind of like, I don't know. We started talking about giants. We've had like a bit of a break from the last recording, but we kind of like just I brought it up kind of on a lark because I don't what were we talking about? Just the size
Cathedrals.
of the cathedral doors and stuff.
Yeah,
And,
it was the end of our last episode.
yeah, and ever since then, I've been poking around, and I am really blown away by everything that I'm finding, and that includes the rabbit holes down, you know, the historical record and how it's probably not anywhere near what we think it is, and also, places like the Smithsonian that are supposed to be the places that hold the historical record, and they're basically the science.
Is it settled though?
They're kind of the same thing.
Is it
No,
settled?
it is not settled. So, yeah. So, what's your take?
Well, I did only because I was coming on your show. I did a quick search, but I've seen a number of explanations of the giants, and I don't have a definitive thought, but I do believe that there's an opportunity there's definitely evidence, or I don't know how I want to say that, but there's potential. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Mud flood. I mean, I was looking up. I'm actually just trying to look it up right now because I pulled up a bunch and I put it in my bookmarks because I thought it was really interesting.
Well, the mud floods are an interesting one too, right? Because it's also in some of the ancient lore, like Tartarus, which could be Tartaria. There's a lot of strange connections between a lot of the ancient stories, the biblical stories, the Greek and Roman mythology, and some of the characters that could be giants.
Can I share something with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I able to do that? Okay. I don't know if you're seeing this.
Yep.
Okay.
Whoa.
Check it out. A helmet.
Oh wow.
Is that not a diving bell?
No, no. Just wait, because it goes back to the left, and you can see that it looks like would be like a warrior's helmet. So
Okay.
you can see where the nose and the mouth would be. Maybe it's the other way around here. Hang on 1 second. Sorry. We don't need this sound.
It was pretty intense. I was kind of
Yeah, it was. Oh, there. I don't know if you can see it, but it just shows the front of the helmet here.
Oh, I
briefly.
see. Like a Spartan's helmet.
Yeah, Spartan
almost.
helmet. That's it.
Yeah, I did see that. No, I thought it was a diving bell at first. I'm like, oh, no, but I guess not.
Crazy, right? I,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's Tammy, how big was King Arthur?
Oh, I can't remember now.
He was-
But he's supposed to be mythical too, right? So like
Right.
they use that one as well. Like, oh, well, he's not a real person, but hang on, because I do have that somewhere.
Can I share another thing that I found just
I
today?
think it was 9 feet. Yeah.
Okay, I've got this that I have not seen before, but with
Yes.
have you seen this
This
one before?
image is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe for our audience who's just listening, can you describe what you
30.
pulled up?
Yeah, so I mean, it was what I found was a document from Flat Out Truth. The remains of giants have been found throughout history, going as far back as time of the Great Mud Flood. Anyway, what it shows on this image is a number of different skeletal sizes. One of them obviously being present day at 6 feet, and it goes a number of them. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different sizes going right up to 36 feet. And that age, the oldest one being 650 BC to 640 AD. That's what we're looking at right now.
Jesus.
Yeah. And
That's
so
crazy.
one of the sort of interesting deep dives that I went down was the idea that how do we know that the dinosaur bones that they've created in museums like the Smithsonian are actually real creatures? They had to use their imagination. They didn't have full sets of bones that they just happened to find, all in one place. And so, from what I've been looking at, they have been kind of using their imagination to recreate dinosaur bone, or to recreate the image of dinosaurs. And if they don't have a full set, they can just manufacture a bone to fit into the place.
Huh.
So it's like, what's stopping them from potentially, manufacturing a bunch more bones than they need to make a dinosaur bigger than it is? And how do we know that those bones aren't giant bones? And I'm not saying that that's what I believe. I'm just saying that it's an interesting question that I've never even entertained before.
Well, I was reading today that it's funny you even brought that up, because there apparently was a giant skeleton found, and then some dude came along and was like, no, just kidding, that's a mastodon. So how do you go from, yeah, this is a giant human person thing, whatever, to no, that's obviously a dinosaur? What?
And apparently the T-Rex's closest ancestor is the chicken.
What?
Birds for sure.
Yeah.
The chicken.
Yeah. So it's like, are we sure we got everything right? Or are we just, have we had the gaps filled in a way that is actually hiding a truth from us that's actually more plausible? Like, do we actually believe that dinosaurs are more plausible than bigger humans than what we are?
Can I say something controversial?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. Always.
After the last 5 years, I even question whether dinosaurs are real.
Me too.
I know. Well, that's where I'm heading to, because the thing is that, I mean, how many of those bones could be giant bones instead?
Right. And how many lies have we been told to get to where we are? Because if you lie about something, you can't go back, right? And so the lies are built on top of lies on top of lies. And so maybe none of it's real.
Yeah.
And did you know that they've never, like, we do not have one single full dinosaur? Like, all of the bones? A complete. Yeah. And when I was like kind of digging into that, the explanation that they gave was, oh, it would be really hard to get a complete dinosaur skeleton. And I'm like, but you find people skeletons all the time. And they're smaller.
What about like the skull on a dinosaur? Because that's a pretty unique feature. Like a T-Rex, that's one piece,
Right.
or like it's two pieces, jaw and head, right?
Well, part of the problem is we don't know what's actually real that we're seeing, because did you know that the alleged dinosaurs that you see in museums are just copies?
Yes.
No.
We don't even see the real bones.
But now I feel terrible because I went to the Tyrrell Museum in Alberta and I touched them all thinking I touched real dinosaurs and I wasn't allowed to, and it was all for nothing.
Oh, that's cute.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, they're not real. And then there's been, I don't even know, countless people. I remember my dad talking about this when I was a kid, that have come forward on their deathbeds, like scientists, and they've said, like, it was a lie. We baked chicken bones and all sorts of weird things.
Bastards.
Noah's getting swatted today.
Probably.
This happens frequently to him.
Yeah. Oh shit. I shouldn't have came out
He
today.
came out today.
God damn it.
The Tyrrell swatting will commence shortly.
Okay. I'm gonna lock my door.
Don't answer the door.
Good
No,
plan.
not for
Yeah.
anyone.
And there are a lot of instances where people have found giant bones. I'm not saying they're giants' bones, but they're giant bones. And they have, of course, the Smithsonian kind of cornered the market, in air quotes, on the science of natural history. And even the way that the Smithsonian began was kind of interesting. It was like some dude from, like, I believe it was like a bastard child of some royal in the UK. And basically, he had an inheritance, but he didn't have any kids. And so he ended up starting the Smithsonian in the United States to kind of, record the record of natural history. And so, how do we know that that wasn't, already a plant? And then basically they get all of the good stuff that people bring into them, and then apparently a ton of stuff gets lost. And so they'll even give them like you have like the paperwork that says we've received these bones, these are the measurements of the bones, whatnot. And then they say, oh, sorry, we've lost it. Like countless accounts of this. And so then these people who thought they were doing the right thing by donating the bones for research or other good, like maybe not bones, but whatever it is that they found, and then oops, sorry, we lost it. Never to be found again.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Very.
And so now, that we've all been lied to through, allegedly, YouTube, through the pandemic, like we're all getting so skeptical of what the authorities are telling us, and I don't know. I'm rethinking everything, especially because like I've actually been listening to this podcast that kind of breaks down the giants through the Bible,
Okay.
and also connects it to Greek and Roman mythology. And it's like, I don't know. I'm starting to wonder how much of that is actually true. I used to think they were very important stories to pass down in order to help people find the right values system in their life and whatnot. But I don't know, like, are they trying to hide a history from us that has already been written down in the Bible and Greek and Roman mythology and whatnot? What do you guys think?
Can I ask you another question? So, what do you think about? Sorry, I didn't even give you a chance to answer. What do you think about the notion that they reset our world every so often? Let's say the 1800s. There's been people that have said that there was a lot of technology already, like electric cars, scooters, a number of different things that we believe that we're the first to come out with, and then basically they erased that part of history so that we
Right.
didn't know that it was even there.
Right, like the World's Fairs, right, Tammy? That they
Yep.
showcased all of their
Right,
technology.
the World Fairs.
Tammy did a podcast on
Okay.
that, and Tartaria. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's so much. I don't know. I don't believe anything anymore.
I'm with you.
I've been questioning like the unquestionable. So
Yeah, I mean, that movie we watched last night with the whole like iterations thing, what was it called? Heretic?
oh, heretic,
That
yeah.
made
Ooh.
me question like a lot of things where I'm like, oh, like I mean, I gotta validate some of it, but I'm like, oh, I guess he's got a point that they're kind of just doing the same thing over and over again, re-releasing the same mixtape, like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that movie, Heretic?
No.
no.
Holy smokes.
It was really good. It has Hugh Grant in it. Love that guy.
And where do we find this movie?
On the
Just
internet.
like, yeah, you can stream it or whatever.
2024.
And it, yes, yeah.
Hugh Grant.
And it, yes. And it basically, well, I don't want to give away the story, but it brings up all of the different religions and belief systems, and then it dives into, well, in this one there was a flood, and in this one there was a flood, and in this one there was a David and Goliath, and but like all by different names, and it basically goes through all the similarities of different religions and says, you know, they've just been remixing the same thing over and over again, and it all actually comes from ancient, something much more ancient.
Wow.
Basically it's definitely something to think about, because I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh,
it was a
like,
good
there's
watch.
stuff in there that my mind was
So
blown.
not any wokeness in it? Because I can't stand most of the
No.
movies.
No.
I can't.
No.
James Bond ruined.
Oh, James Bond is toast.
Post.
What happened to James
No,
Bond?
there's nothing
It went woke.
there's nothing woke about it.
James Bond went super woke, and you have to watch it, Suze.
No, I don't want
just
to.
awful.
You just told me it's super woke. Why would I go?
What was
watch
it? It's No Time to Die, right? That was the one we're talking
I
about.
think so.
The most recent
The
one.
most recent one.
Yeah.
What was
Well,
woke about it?
I don't want to ruin it for people. Anybody here
them.
want to watch it?
No.
No,
Okay, so-
I generally
I
don't watch
can't
movies.
watch that.
Daniel Craig's James Bond didn't make it to the end, and they replaced him with a lady.
Stop.
Yep.
Like a man that transitioned to a lady?
No, like he didn't make it to the. I was just trying to say it like nicely. Like I'm pretty sure he died if I remember correctly, or he's like maybe it's not confirmed, but like he's not. He doesn't make it to the end of the movie, and then they replaced him with this black lady. I forget her name.
Oh, of course.
Tell me they call
course
her
she's
Jill
black.
Bond.
Bill Bond? Oh my gosh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Bruce, because I watched that like a couple years ago.
I didn't watch it because I was a huge James Bond fan, and I heard that they were going completely woke, and I thought, there's no way, I'm done watching. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
God.
That is
It's
Daniel
just
Craig.
it's a
fan.
character.
Yeah.
It's not a like you make a new one for like if you want a role model for young women, make a new one. Don't take away what the role model that young men have or the character that has been beloved for I don't know 60 years.
Who needs a new role model when you have a black Snow White?
And a black Ariel,
What a disaster.
Yeah.
They
right? Because
become-
they made the new Little Mermaid and she's black, and now there's actually a cartoon called Ariel, and the cartoon is also black.
I can't even.
Just
Like,
saying.
I can't.
Well, they can all go to hell. That's what I think. Like,
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't need
Yeah.
to watch you. I don't need to watch movies. Did anybody watch the Oscars? Speaking of which,
No,
No.
I didn't even know it was
I don't
on.
want to watch a bunch of pedophiles give each other awards.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since you brought
Thanks,
up
Dave.
Well.
that word, Tammy.
Allegedly.
No, not that word.
Pedophiles?
Yeah, that one. I have
Yeah.
a story to tell. Tammy and
Oh, yeah, you
Ashley
do.
already know this story.
Oh, yeah.
But I would like to tell the story to the men in the room, and I would like to hear your thoughts. So I was, this past week was March break for my children, so we went to good old Niagara Falls.
Trafficking capital of Canada.
oh my gosh.
Exactly. So we went
Allegedly.
there, allegedly, yeah. So we went there for a couple nights to go to the indoor water park with our kids, blah, 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 whatever. So the day that I got there, I went to go meet a colleague of mine that was also staying there with her family for a coffee. So my kids came with me, and I stepped outside. So full disclosure, I am a smoker. So I went outside to have a smoke, and my younger daughter wanted to come outside. So I said, okay, fine. So she comes outside with me, and there was a few steps there. We were outside the Crown Plaza at the street level where the Starbucks is. I turned to my left. I got the Rainbow Bridge, beautiful name, leading to the States, like, I don't know, 40, 50 feet away. And to the right, if I look up the hill, it goes up to where you would turn to Clifton Hill. It wasn't like a super busy time. It wasn't like crazy people walking up and down the street. My kid's kind of like jumping up and down the stairs, just kind of playing. She's 7. And I'm like halfway done my smoke, and I look over to the left, and for half a second I turn back to the right, and all of a sudden there's this man walking towards me. And he says, as he's approaching me, he says, excuse me, is this your daughter? I go, yes. And my daughter immediately comes closer to me on her own, thank God. And then he goes, oh, okay, there's a woman. She's looking for her 6-year-old daughter. I thought maybe this was her. And I'm like, oh, that's horrible. I'm like, what happened? And he's pointing in the direction he came from. And he's like, oh, no, this lady, she was all frantic looking for something. I said, ma'am, what's wrong? What are you looking for? And she's like, my 6-year-old daughter's missing. I can't find her. So, I told her I'd keep an eye out. I'm like, oh, my God, that's horrible. I'll keep an eye out, too. Do you have a description of the child? He goes, no, I didn't get that. I don't even know what a 6-year-old looks like. How old is she? Guys, when I tell you the shock that I was in the minute that man said the word no, I don't have a description. And I was also terrified because I'm standing on the side of the road alone with my kid. And I wanted to say so much and do so much, but I was scared. And I could, the disgust in my freaking soul that I felt like in that moment that my kid was actually just cased by this man. And
that's so gross.
I could see his face change before my eyes from this like potential innocent situation to a complete monster. It was the most disgusting feeling. I couldn't shake it for like the longest time. I ended up calling Tammy immediately after that because all her trafficking posts came flooding into my brain in that moment. She even said, she's like, I bet you all my posts came flooding to your brain. I'm like, yes. I'm like, holy shit, I'm literally like standing 40 feet away from the fucking border. I was like, what the hell is happening? And then he went inside. I'm like, yeah, okay. Then he goes inside and he fucking disappeared within seconds. And I went in and I told my friend, because she had 3 girls and 2 of them were running around like maniacs. I'm like, do not fucking take your eyes off these kids.
Disgusting.
So yeah.
That's so gross.
And your hotel was connected to a water park, right?
Yes, it sure was. Well, by a bridge,
God.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was playground for Fredos.
Yeah, and then my friend, the one that was there with her 3 kids, when I'm telling her the story, she even said, she's like, oh, yesterday I almost lost one of them in the arcade. I'm like, yeah, no, you can't. Like me and my husband, we have a system. We go to the arcade. My husband takes one kid. I take the other. One of us is with one kid at all times.
Crazy.
Like, you can't just let your kids run around in the freaking arcade. Like, you can't.
Unfortunately, it's not the same world that we grew up in.
Nope.
No, or we just didn't know.
We didn't know how bad it really was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being really little and my dad was like, he knew stuff about that. And I remember him saying, if anybody ever takes you and they throw you in the back of a car, even if they're driving, you stab their eyes out. Use your fingers, use whatever you can, but you stab their eyes out. Don't ever let somebody take you, because once the car stops, you're done. And he put so much fear into me about that, actually. But he knew stuff then. So obviously something was going on. And I don't know, like I never did go back and ask him about that, but maybe it had to do with the stuff that happened in Cornwall or, is it Prescott? Yeah, Prescott. With the satanic panic and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh my gosh, Operation Truth. And I can't remember the other one now. I'd have to look it up. There was 2, so Cornwall and Prescott, Ontario, they're right along the St. Lawrence River, and they're about an hour from each other. And in the early 90s, the entire towns were caught one after the other. I think it was Prescott first and then maybe Cornwall. Project Jericho and Project Truth, that's what it was. And it ended up being found out that basically the entire town was in on a child trafficking ring, and they were doing all of these weird satanic rituals on children, and it was wild. They had, I'd have to go back to my posts about it, but it was like hundreds of children.
Wow.
And I ended up going down a rabbit hole about that for, I don't know, probably a good solid 2 weeks, where I basically like mapped out the St. Lawrence River and all of the people that have gone missing along the St. Lawrence and all of like the major trafficking cases that have been discovered along the St. Lawrence, right down to the Lost Boys of Pickering, which are 6 boys that disappeared, and completely vanished without a trace, but it was on Lake Ontario, which is directly across from the Finger Lakes, which is tattooed on Hunter Biden's back.
Wow.
And people go missing there all the time. And there's tunnels underneath the Finger Lakes that are from back when they had the Underground Railroad.
Jeez.
Yeah, and people called me crazy and whatever, and I'm like, I'm literally mapping this out for you guys. The St. Lawrence River is a channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the most human trafficking happens in Halifax in Canada, and if you follow the St. Lawrence River, like it literally leads you right out to
Really?
that.
Wow.
Yes,
And
I went.
nobody's paying attention.
I did that. That is factual. I went to a trafficking thing here in Ontario. It was like the seminar thing, and the what was it? I can't remember what region it was, but the police were like, talking about human trafficking and stuff, and they actually said that the capital of trafficking in the country is in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
There's
It's
like
wild.
there's like a trafficking family there that they just breed traffickers, and then they send their victims to Ontario and to Toronto and whatever, and they come through these places to go to work.
Jeez.
And BC is a very close second, but BC because they're so close to the ports. And I was even, when I was looking into the Picton stuff, a longshoreman reached out to me and said they're actually taught to not check the cargo.
Really? Wow.
Oh wow.
So stuff is going on. Like BC, I watch regularly the missing persons on the RCMP site for BC, and it's just wild to see how many people go missing every single year in BC. Like it's one a day. It's wild.
Well, BC is such a mess even now, and I'm not talking about historically but this Ebby, is that what his name is, or Eby?
David
Yeah,
Eby,
I mean, you saw what he did as far as taking power. What did he say that he's now? So he's removed power because there's an emergency in regard to the tariffs, and
the tariffs, of
yeah,
course.
But do you know that you get free drugs there? They have vending machines where you can get drugs and
Yep.
pipes.
Yep.
There's one just down the street from my daughter's house. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. But it's okay that a 12-year-old can just go and get drugs. But we need to make sure the Orange Man Bad doesn't buy wine. That's it. He doesn't want to sell United States wine. But you can have.
He still wanted to keep Californian wine too. I don't know what he ended up doing with that, but
Oh, he wanted to keep it for himself, I'm sure.
yeah.
All you plebs, the plebs in BC, you can't drink that stuff, but I can.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh boy.
Crazy times. Crazy times. What else? Do you want to go back to Mark?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the clock because I'm thinking we don't have a lot of time. We'll definitely have to have you back on when we have a bit more time to chat. But
I would love it.
After we went on your podcast, we definitely wanted to have you on, and then there's a bit of a snafu last week. We were supposed to have you on, and then
Totally my fault.
whoopsies, we all kind of forgot.
It's all good.
Yeah, we've been a hot
We've
mess the past few weeks.
We've been
The
very,
broads
very
were a hot mess.
out of
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
That's right. But yeah, if you want to touch on Mark Carney for a few minutes before we have to say goodbye, that'd be
Well,
great.
anybody else? Any thoughts on it? But as far as Mark Carney, I don't know how much you guys looked into it, but when he was with Brookfield, his role was to make sure that the funds and so they were funneled through offshore banking. And I don't know what I saw, but it was numerous countries that don't share tax information, so that they didn't have to pay taxes on on some of their revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be our prime
That's
minister.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a seat
he's-
in the house?
Doesn't have a seat in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never had a
And he's-
vote. Never had a vote.
Yeah. He said he's detached. He's separated from the House of Commons. It's like, yeah, because you've never been voted in, but somehow you also have your signature on the $20 bill. So don't talk to me about being, so separated from all the politics.
One thing I heard today, I don't know if you heard this, but I heard that he's already gone through the process of getting, is it access, the private access that takes a number of weeks to get done, but he's only been in the position for a few days. I don't know if you heard that. I'd have to look it up to see if to speak
No,
properly,
I
but
didn't hear about that.
let me just quickly see if I can find it here.
I liked how he pretended he was signing some executive
I love
order,
that.
even though we don't have that in
We don't
Canada.
have them here.
Right?
What an idiot.
Did you notice that he
Yeah, I
had a
have a-
gavel beside him?
I have
Yeah.
a quick question.
Yeah.
I saw an article today, something about that Canadians or the majority of Canadians want to become part of the EU. What the fuck is that about? Did anybody else see that?
I did see that. I don't trust anything that these assholes
Well, I don't
say.
trust it
but
either. But like,
I sued the lower government.
I definitely do not.
I definitely do
found
not.
something.
neither do I. What'd you find, Dave? What'd you find?
Just on Mr. Mark Ebby or Eby or whatever. Let's start with
David
Christia.
Eby?
Christia here. 2019 Bilderberg meeting attendee.
Of
Then
course.
we'll go to Mark Carney, 2019 Bilderberg attendee. And David Eby, 2019 Bilderberg attendee. That's
Wow.
I
what
love Bilderberg and
Anyways.
Davos and
Yep.
Interesting.
How about they tell us what they talk about there? Eh? You have nothing to hide. Canada first. Let us know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's even weirder is Megacorp.
what's that?
Or, sorry, Mega Group.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Mega Group?
No,
I
me
haven't
neither.
heard that.
Yeah, because the
Uh-oh.
Mega Group is even more secretive than the Bilderberg
Wow.
meetings. And Barry Sherman
Yes.
had ties to Mega Group.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay, one more thing about Carney before we go. Western Standard's just reporting that Carney accuses, and I don't know if you saw this, but he was on with Rosemary Barton, and Barton was asking him a question. He was acting with ill will, is what he said about Rosemary Barton from CBC, after she grills him on potential conflicts of interest. He says, "Look inside yourself, Rosemary." He got his hackles up because CBC actually questioned him about something.
I can't believe they actually questioned him.
I can't either.
Yeah, me
I
too.
can't either. I mean,
But I feel like it's just theater anyway.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
I think I'm so black-pilled.
I have a mosquito in my room.
How?
That
Kill
was
it.
random.
That's crazy. I know. I should find it and kill it because that's going to be the type that breeds.
Is that a
There's a
dinosaur
human footprint next to a dinosaur footprint. Just to add on to the things that they're trying to hide about that era.
I killed the mosquito, just so you know.
That's either a really small dinosaur or a really big person.
It's
That
hard to-
dinosaur is like the size of Jacques.
It's hard to tell, like in the actual video when you see them like approaching this thing, it's like gives better perspective on like the size of what's going on. But apparently there's like a handful of these things of from the same like dated back to like the same time era, and yeah, like a human footprint next to a dinosaur one. So maybe we're not supposed to know about that for some reason, or they were just dragons. What up?
Dragons, yeah.
Dragons.
That's a good one.
Hashtag
Well-
dragon
Dragons.
believer.
Right?
If you think about like movies like Avatar and stuff, don't they ride around on dragony things? They plug their hair into it.
Dragon.
Right, and then why did all these monuments like out in Asia have just dragons floating around on them if they were so fake and not real?
Well, and aren't the all of the Asian symbols for things like they have the year of the pig and the year of I don't know, whatever they have years of. And like the only one that's not a real thing is the dragon.
Right.
Or maybe
Just
not.
saying.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah. There's
maybe
actually
they're
so
just
much more
reptilians.
we could go down with that. But unfortunately, I think we're out of time for today. But
Yay, dragons.
Bruce, we'll definitely have to have you come back on. And
Yeah,
we
you
can
need
talk
to come
more about all
when
this
you can
stuff.
be here for like 2 hours.
I can take 2 hours, that's for sure. We can do that another day.
Awesome.
Ooh.
All right.
Can we talk all about dragons
Well-
for 2 hours?
Well, you'll have to get your dragon dictionary and encyclopedia out.
You don't know who you're talking to, do you? I'm pretty sure I have a little bit of the tism.
The tism.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes, YouTube, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh
Well,
God.
thank you very much for having me on. It was fun talking to you, and I want to explore some more. So we'll have to have a much deeper discussion about the whatever subject. It doesn't matter what it is because it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, we can just have a conversation about whatever. We all have opinions on everything now. So.
Yeah.
Somebody
pretty much.
somebody said it was bad to be opinionated. I don't know what the hell they were talking about.
That person was an idiot.
Well, Bruce, thanks so much again for coming on. Why don't you let our audience know where they can find you?
Well, mostly you can find me on X at obviously Unscrew the News is always going to be my moniker, and I'm on Rumble, probably second most, Substack, and then I'm on all the other not formative or not YouTubes. I do have a little presence on YouTube, but I'm on BitChute, Odyssey, CloutHub, a little bit on TikTok, and let me see. Play TV was the newest one that I joined up with. So Play TV, I think, is Gab.
Oh.
No, is it Gab?
Okay, cool.
Getter. Maybe it's Getter. I can't remember exactly what it
Oh,
is.
Getter,
But
okay.
a number of different places that you can find me. It's Unscrew the News. You can reach out to me through any of those. I'm open for. You can send me DMs right through Twitter there. Not a problem. I'm happy to discuss anything.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, you found me there.
I know we don't have a lot of time, but does anyone have any final thoughts they just want to throw in there?
Go
before we
Dragons.
go?
It's all a lie. Everything.
I think I just got black pilled tonight.
Hopefully you don't get swatted.
Finally.
Again.
Yeah, like
Harry Potter was a documentary.
I just swallowed it. Pause.
Oh shit. Can I just mention real
That's
quick
amazing.
who our guest is next week?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
Next
Yes,
week,
please.
we have our very own Dave from Perception Correction.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, what will we be talking about next week?
What? I'm gonna have a what's it called? A PowerPoint,
Okay.
and
You're
we're
such a
gonna
nerd.
connect even closer up until this day. The people that kind of were the reason, in my view, and I'll bring some evidence to the table, of why we look at things a certain way and history was shaped a certain way, and like kind of who the players were behind the scenes. So kind of like if you're fighting the enemy, it's like a Know Your Enemy Part 2 from like a year ago.
Are we talking about the CFR?
Will there be any
Yeah.
dragons? Will there be any dragons?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I just made that up.
Actually, I think there is a way to connect some of the royal bloodlines to
Dragons?
That too.
giants and maybe dragons. So
And human hunting parties, allegedly.
I like Dave's idea of doing PowerPoints for the
It's 'cause
podcast.
you're-
I'm gonna do one on dragons.
You're a nerd just like him, so we would expect nothing less. Bruce,
Thank you.
thank you
Thank you
for being here.
Thank you, the broadcast, Noah, Dave, appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thanks,
All
Bruce.
right.
All right.
It was great
Pleasure.
to meet
Thanks,
you.
Bruce.
Nice to meet you too. Take care.
all right, to our audience out there, thanks for coming along for this quick little chat. Please like and subscribe, share, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.